tort and breach of contract. A tort is a violation of right in rem, which means of a right vested in some determinate person, either personally or as a member of the community, and available against the world at large. Whereas a breach of contract is an infringement of a right in personam, which means a right available against some determinate person or body, and in which the community at large has no concern. A breach of contract results from breach of a duty undertaken by the parties themselves. The distinction between the two lies in the nature of the duty that is violated. In the case of a tort, the duty is imposed by law and as owed to the community at large. In case of contract, the duty is fixed by the will and consent of the parties, and it is owed to a definite person or persons. So the difference between the two revolves around 5 basic elements, such as: one is violation of a right and its nature. The second one, the legal aspects of duty. Number 3, the motive behind such act or omission. Number 4, the nature and form of remedy and the kind of damages to be performed. Now we'll discuss in detail about these 5 basic elements which differentiate between a tort and breach of contract. In case of the first one, regarding violation of a right and its nature, one has to determine the violation of the right of a person, whether it is right in rem or right in persona. Regarding the second one, in contract, duty is based on the privity of contract, and such party owes duty only to the other contracting party. A stranger to a contract has no liability. And the third one, that is motive, sometimes taken into consideration in tort, but in case of contract it is immaterial, even if a party breached the contract with good motive. Fourth one, on remedy, in breach of contract there is specific performance of contract, injunctions, etc. But in tort, the main remedy is damages. Lastly, the fifth one, in breach of contract, damages either already settled between the parties, which is in the form of liquidated damages, but in tort, damages are always unliquidated. So the basic difference between tort and breach of contract is regarding the rights, and that rights are right in rem and right in persona. While right in rem is available to every person in the community or in the public against the world at large. It means it is available to all persons in a community or living in public. While in case of breach of contract, that right in personam is only available against a specific person or persons or body of persons who enter into a contract, so the liability will rest upon them. So regarding right in rem, as we found in tort, only damages are awarded, but in case of right in personam, those damages awarded are already settled, so these damages are called liquidated damages. But in case of tort, as damages are not settled or could not be settled, regarding such rights, those damages are always on liquidated damages, and such damages are decided by the judges in these cases according to their nature and according to their gravity, and it is always depends on the judges to decide in specific cases in court of law regarding those damages which are awarded in case of violation of right in rem. So this is the basic difference between tort and a breach of contract, and it is also containing 5 basic elements such as the violation of the right and its nature. So also the very legal aspects of those duties imposed as in case of tort and in case of contract. So also what is the motive behind and how motive is considered as a part of tort, and how in breach of contract motive has no importance even if one is having good motive, but it is important to perform the very contract reached between the parties. So also the very nature and form of remedy available both in tort and breach of contract. So while in tort the very damages is all liquidated in nature, but in case of contract it is liquidated as it is already prefixed or settled by the parties into that contract or agreement. Lastly, the kinds of damages to be performed by the person who committed the tort or who breached the contract.